As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, you better start packing now.
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Donald Trump is assembling a team, and with the nomination of Thomas Homan, the former ICE director known for his iron grip on immigration enforcement, it's clear Trump is planning to make a statement. Thomas Homan isn't just any nominee. To some, he's a defender of American borders. To others, he's a symbol of the Trump administration's most controversial immigration policies.
As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now. You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
Known for his unapologetically tough stance, Homan led ICE, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, promising to secure the borders, no matter the cost.
My name is Tom Homan. I began my career as a Border Patrol agent in 1984. After 34 years, I became the first Director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, that actually came up through the ranks. I've worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I've worked for said they're going to secure the border. President Trump actually did it. He created the most secure border in our history, and that's a stone cold fact. The data proves it, and guess what? He's going to do it again.
Trump's choice to bring Homan back is no accident. After all, Homan's approach to immigration was as direct as it was divisive. During his time as acting ICE director, he didn't just enforce policies. He pursued them with a determination that won him supporters and sparked fierce opposition.
Under President Trump, we cut illegal immigration by 90%, the lowest level in 45 years. Deportations rose to the highest level ever, including historic numbers of illegal alien gang members and criminals. Most importantly, 4 years under President Trump, we had 13 people we arrested on a terrorist watch list. Joe Biden, 381. And let's remember, we got over 2 million known gotaways. How many of them came from a country that sponsored terrorism? God help us.
So, what does Homan's nomination mean for the future? For Trump supporters, Homan is the answer to what they see as an immigration crisis. They want a return to order, to border security, and they believe Homan is the man for the job. But to his critics, Homan's nomination brings back memories of a time when immigration enforcement was at its strictest, and to them, its harshest. They argue that his methods often overlooked the humanity of those seeking asylum and raised ethical questions about America's treatment of immigrants. Homan faced congressional panels to address some of the most controversial aspects of his tenure. At one congressional hearing, Homan took the stand, confronting criticism for his role in the 2018 zero-tolerance policy. This policy meant every adult who crossed the border illegally, even those seeking asylum, could face prosecution, resulting in children being separated from their parents. Homan defended the approach, comparing it to cases where American parents facing charges are similarly separated from their children. But there's a key difference. Seeking asylum, he was reminded, is legal under U.S. law. His rejoinder, provided it's done at a designated entry point. Listen in.
Mr. Homan, that you are the author. It says here from yourself, Kevin Michalinen, and Francis Cisna. Is this correct? Did you sign the memo?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy?
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo?
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation?
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
Another heated exchange occurs between Homan and the Congress Acting Committee chairwoman as Homan defends ICE's practices, attributing border issues to Congress's failure to close immigration loopholes. He criticizes comparisons of ICE agents to Nazis, calling them offensive, and asserts that he should be respected as a taxpayer.
You know, this is about transparency. Let's be factual about it.
The time of the gentleman has expired. Since you did address some comments at me, I'll just say that I didn't like it under the Obama administration either. In fact,
But be honest with the American people.
Excuse me,
You can't point out faults in the Trump administration when it happened under the Obama administration. That's dishonesty. It's pathetic and it's sad.
Mr. Homan, I control the time, and I am the chairwoman of the committee. Thank you for respecting that. I didn't like it under the Obama administration, and I'll remind you, Mr. Homan, that you also testified before Congress in support of the Obama's Priorities Enforcement Program before the Senate Judiciary Committee on May 19th, 2016, which had a very different approach.
Well, can I respond to that? Can I respond to that?
No.
Of course
you may
not. Look, you want to know why there's 50,000 people in detention? You want to know why we have 1 million illegal entries in the United States? You want to know why we have these issues? Because you have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close. So if you want to know why this issue exists, you need to look in the mirror. You have failed American people for not securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Homan, please respect the chair and the authority of the chair. The time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go beyond my time, and you let other people go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me go beyond his time.
Mr. Homan, we have approved an agreement between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of one member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is done with the approval of the ranking member. Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair...
Mr. Homan!
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Homan doesn't mince words when it comes to Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's calls to abolish ICE. In his usual blunt style, he's called her position not smart and ridiculous, pointing out that removing ICE would essentially dismantle America's immigration enforcement system. To him, the push to disband ICE is more a headline than a real solution, a move that, in his eyes, lacks a real understanding of what's at stake.
Talk about this now. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was out stumping for Bernie Sanders in Iowa. Let's take a listen to what she had to say on Saturday.
Organizing is about tipping people off if you start to see that ICE and CBP are in communities to try to keep people safe. I'm here because Senator Sanders has actually committed to breaking up ICE and CBP.
Tom, your thoughts on that statement?
It's ridiculous. It's an extremely stupid statement made by somebody I never consider real smart anyways. But here's the elected lawmaker. She's a congresswoman standing on the stage telling people how to obstruct ICE, tipping off people that ICE is looking for. And she needs to realize 9 out of 10 of everybody ICE arrested last year was a convicted criminal or pending criminal charges. Let me talk about a few. Last year, 137,000 criminals, 2,000 were murders, 12,000 sex offenses, 45,000 assaults, 62,000 drug offenses, 10,000 weapons offenses. And she wants the community to tip these people off the ICE is in their neighborhood operating. ICE's job is already extremely dangerous. Now she's making it more dangerous. And she's one of these Democrats keep saying, no one's above the law. The president is above the law. We need to impeach the president because he's not above the law. But apparently illegal aliens are above the law because ICE isn't allowed to arrest them. It's a ridiculous statement.
Tom Homan.
As the U.S. braces for the next chapter in this ongoing immigration debate, one thing is certain. Homan's return could reshape the landscape of American immigration. Will he bring order, or will his tactics only deepen the divide?